Wait a minute. Just look at this. My colleagues at the Deep Space Network are scrambling because the telemetry streaming into our monitors right now, dated February 21st, 2026, defies every law of classical mechanics. We are witnessing a photonic event that suggests our fundamental understanding of interstellar debris is not just incomplete, it is obsolete. Precisely 8 hours ago, the Hubble Space Telescope didn't just observe the object designated as 3I Atlas, it was intercepted by it. At 4:12 UTC this morning, Hubble executed a routine ultraviolet calibration pulse directed at the coordinates of the visitor. In the standard dirty snowball model of cometary physics, we expect that light to be absorbed by volatiles or scattered chaotically into the abyss. That is how nature works. Nature creates entropy. Nature creates rough, unpolished surfaces. But 3I Atlas just rewrote the laws of optics. 7 minutes after the pulse was sent, the Wide-Field Camera 3 on Hubble experienced a catastrophic sensor burnout. The reason? The light didn't scatter. It came back as a coherent, collimated beam of ultraviolet radiation with 98% of its original intensity. Imagine shining a flashlight into a dark, foggy forest, only to have a laser beam shoot back directly into your eye from the darkness. This is a physical impossibility for a natural rock. It requires a surface engineered on a molecular level. A perfect retroreflector with a precision of 0.004 degrees. According to NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, the albedo, the measure of reflectivity, of this object was recorded at 0.96. For context, fresh planetary snow sits at 0.8, and polished laboratory aluminum at 0.9. 3I Atlas is more reflective than any natural substance known to man. But the mystery deepens into the realm of the impossible. Theoretical physicists like Dr. Michio Kaku suggest that we may be looking at metamaterials, engineered structures designed to manipulate electromagnetic waves in ways that do not occur in nature. When the James Webb Space Telescope JWST slewed its NIRCam instrument to the coordinates, it expected to find a thermal glow from sunlight absorption. Instead, it saw a cold, dark void. The object was not absorbing energy, it was redirecting it with 100% efficiency. By 05 UTC today, the Deep Space Network DSN antenna DSS-43 in Canberra detected something even more chilling, a Doppler boost that violates the conservation of energy. The reflected signal didn't just return, it gained 14% more energy than the original pulse. In classical physics, a cold rock cannot add energy to a light beam, it can only subtract. This implies an internal power source, a transponder, actively retransmitting our pings with added gain. Theoretical frameworks like the Kardashev scale suggest this is the hallmark of a von Neumann probe, a self-replicating interstellar machine designed to acknowledge contact. The final verification came at 05:25 UTC from the ALMA Observatory in the Atacama Desert. The returning signal was no longer a flat wave, it was modulated. It was chopped into rhythmic pulses representing a prime number sequence, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. And then a 12-second silence followed by the golden ratio, phi, constant of 1.618. Nature does not count. Pulsars may tick, but they do not do math. We knocked on the door of the cosmos with a simple ultraviolet pulse, and something inside 3I Atlas just answered in the language of universal mathematics. As we sit here on February 21, 2026, the signal strength is increasing by 400% every hour. It is no longer a reflection, it is a broadcast. And that broadcast is aimed directly at the third planet from the sun. We are not looking at a mirror, we are looking at a waking intelligence. The situation escalated from a scientific curiosity to a full-scale violation of Newtonian physics exactly 6 hours ago. As the Deep Space Network, DSN, continued to monitor the returning signal from 3I Atlas, the data revealed a phenomenon that has left propulsion engineers at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in a state of utter disbelief. To understand the gravity of this moment, we must look at the Doppler shift. When an electromagnetic wave bounces off a moving object, its frequency changes, much like the pitch of a siren changes as it passes you on the highway. By measuring this shift, we can calculate an object's velocity with surgical precision. But at 05 ROG UTC, February 21, 2026, the DSS-43 antenna in Canberra recorded a frequency shift that was mathematically impossible. According to the laws of motion, for a natural object to create a shift of this magnitude, it would need to be accelerating at a staggering 40 kilometers per second, directly toward the light source. Yet, the Chandra X-ray Observatory and the ESA's Gaia mission confirm that 3I Atlas is on a stable, predictable hyperbolic trajectory. It is not moving toward us at those speeds. So, how do you explain a Doppler shift without physical acceleration? Theoretical physicists like Dr. Michio Kaku suggest a radical alternative, the active skin hypothesis. The data indicates that the surface of the object itself is moving independently of its mass. Imagine a skin composed of programmable matter or nanoscale actuators that vibrate at high frequencies to modulate the incoming light. We are not looking at a static crust of ice and rock. We are looking at a dynamic, vibrating membrane. Even more disturbing is the energy gain. In a closed system, entropy always increases and energy is lost. Yet the signal that returned to Earth carried 14% more energy than the pulse Hubble sent out. This breaks the first law of thermodynamics, unless the object is not a passive reflector, but an active repeater. This implies an internal power source of unimaginable density, perhaps a radioisotope thermoelectric generator, RTG, or a cold fusion core, capable of intercepting a signal, amplifying it, and firing it back with a digital signature attached. By Euro 5:30 UTC today, the European Southern Observatory's VLT Very Large Telescope in Chile detected that the object's rotation had stabilized with a precision of 0.001 seconds. Natural comets are tumbled by the uneven sublimation of gases, creating a chaotic, unpredictable spin. 3I Atlas, however, is rotating like a high-precision gyroscope. This rhythmic oscillation is what allows it to sweep its reflected beam across the Earth with the timing of a lighthouse. This is not the behavior of a rock, it is the behavior of a synchronized machine. The implications of this active surface are profound. If the object can manipulate electromagnetic waves with this level of control, it could theoretically render itself invisible to radar or create ghost signatures to deceive our sensors. We are looking at a level of metamaterial engineering that belongs to a Type 1 or Type 2 civilization on the Kardashev scale. As the signal strength continues to climb, reaching 400% of its original intensity in the last hour, the scientific community is forced to face the existential pivot. We are no longer observing a guest in our solar system. We are being engaged by an interstellar transponder. Furthermore, the spectroscopic data received at 07 Saoju UTC shows that the active skin is not just vibrating, it is changing its chemical composition in real time. According to telemetry from the James Webb Space Telescope, the surface transitioned from a silicate-heavy signature to a high-density metallic lattice within 120 seconds. This is the hallmark of phase change materials. In thermodynamics, such a transition usually requires immense heat or pressure, yet the JWST's mid-infrared instrument, MIRI, shows the object remains at a steady, cryogenic 200 degree. It is bypassing the standard thermal laws of the universe. NASA's Deep Space Network has now confirmed that the modulation of the reflected light is not just a byproduct of rotation, it is a coherent information stream. The gaps between the pulses are getting shorter, indicating that the object is handshaking with Earth's communication satellites. This is the Fermi paradox being solved in real time. We are looking at a Bracewell probe, an autonomous interstellar scout designed to wait in the cold of space until it detects the electromagnetic leakage of a burgeoning civilization. As we enter the next phase of this encounter, the global scientific consensus is fracturing. While some argue for a natural, albeit exotic, explanation involving Rydberg matter, the majority of the data, specifically the prime number modulation, points toward a directed, intentional intelligence. The object is no longer just reflecting us, it is analyzing us. Every pulse Hubble sends is a data point for 3I Atlas. We are effectively providing the energy it needs to scan our technological capabilities. The clock is ticking. At 09 SAO UTC, the LIGO Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory detected a microtremor in spacetime, not from a distant black hole, but from the immediate vicinity of the object. This suggests the presence of a gravitational anchor or a propulsion system that manipulates the local metric of space itself. If 3I Atlas is indeed a von Neumann machine, it may be preparing for its next phase, replication or a direct course correction toward our inner solar system. The countdown to a total re-evaluation of human history reached its 0 point at 15 UTC, February 21, 2026. As the global scientific community watched in a state of suspended breath, the data from the ALMA, Atacama Large Millimeter, Submillimeter Array, in the high deserts of Chile, finalized the decoding of the signal coming from 3I Atlas. The optical mirror event was not a mere physical anomaly, it was the carrier wave for a message. To understand the profound nature of this moment, we must move beyond the physics of reflection and into the mathematics of universal intelligence. Theoretical physicists like Dr. Michio Kaku have long argued that any interstellar communication would be anchored in the language of the universe, mathematics, and 3I Atlas has just confirmed this hypothesis with chilling precision. The signal that returned to Earth was no longer a flat, ultraviolet hum. It had been chopped and modulated into a series of distinct rhythmic pulses. According to the National Radio Astronomy Observatory, NRAO logs received 4 hours ago, these pulses are not random noise. They represent a prime number sequence, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, and 17. In the history of radio astronomy, nature has never produced a counting sequence. Pulsars may tick with the regularity of an atomic clock, and solar flares may burst with the chaotic static of a cosmic storm, but nature does not do math. To take a continuous wave of light and insert discrete numerical data requires a modulator. It requires circuitry. It requires intention. This is the smoking gun of an artificial origin. But the complexity didn't stop at prime numbers. The gaps between the pulses, measured by the Deep Space Network, DSN, with microsecond accuracy, were exactly 1.618 seconds apart. This is phi, the golden ratio. This mathematical constant is found in the spiral of galaxies, the geometry of Nautilus shells, and the very structure of human DNA. By encoding this value into the signal, the intelligence behind 3I Atlas is sending a clear, unambiguous message. We understand the geometry of your reality. This is not a message in a bottle. It is a high-speed digital handshake from a Type II civilization on the Kardashev scale. As of 1745 UTC today, the James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, recorded a localized spacetime distortion in the immediate vicinity of the object. Using the mid-infrared instrument, MIRI, scientists detected a gravitational anchor, a manipulation of the local metric of space that suggests the object is not just drifting, it is station-keeping. According to theoretical frameworks involving Alcubierre metrics, such a distortion is the hallmark of a propulsion system that warps space itself to maintain a static position against the sun's gravitational pull. 3I Atlas has effectively parked itself in our orbital plane, and the LIGO, Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, has confirmed that the space-time ripples originating from the object are becoming more frequent. But here is the most unsettling discovery of February 21, 2026. The signal is no longer a pong to our ping. It has evolved into an autonomous broadcast. The Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope has detected a secondary stream of information encoded in high-energy gamma bursts. These bursts are directed in a 3-degree cone pointed directly at the L1 Lagrange point, the stable gravitational parking spot between the Earth and the Sun. By aiming its broadcast at L1, 3I Atlas is utilizing a natural relay point that could theoretically allow it to take over Earth's entire satellite communication infrastructure. This is interstellar cyber warfare on a scale we are not prepared to fight. The ESA, European Space Agency, has reported that, as the signal strength increased by 400% in the last few hours, it has begun to induce phantom currents in the solar panels of the International Space Station, ISS. The object is pumping energy into our vicinity, effectively charging the space around us. Theoretical physicists like Avi Loeb suggest that we may be witnessing the activation of a Bracewell probe, an autonomous machine designed to wait in the silence of space for millions of years until it detects the first radio whispers of a technological species. We knocked on the door with Hubble's pulse, and we have just triggered the waking sequence of an ancient interstellar sentinel. The NASA Deep Space Network has officially entered a Level 5 blackout regarding the latest telemetry. However, independent observatories in Chile and Australia are still receiving the data. The latest packet, decoded just 30 minutes ago, contains a 3D mapping of the Earth's surface, reflected back to us in high-resolution ultraviolet. They aren't just talking to us, they are scanning us. Every city, every coastline, and every military installation is being digitized by the reflection event. We are being catalogued by an intelligence that moves at the speed of light and thinks in the language of the stars. The clock is running out. In exactly 4 hours and 12 minutes, Earth will be in the direct line of sight of the next high-intensity burst from 3I Atlas. Based on the current trajectory and the exponential increase in signal energy, this next transmission will not be a simple math sequence. It will be the final download. We are about to receive the data stream of an interstellar civilization. The question is our technological hardware capable of handling the software of a Type 2 intelligence, or will the surge in energy overwhelm our global grid? The telescopes are locked, the detectors are live, the world's greatest minds are gathered in war rooms from Geneva to Washington. Whatever happens next, the world we knew on February 20th is gone. We have stepped out of the cosmic shadows and into the blinding light of an active, intelligent universe. The oracle has spoken, and the data is clear. We are no longer alone. We are being watched, we are being measured, and we are being answered.